I am content creator Sally Estlin, the founder of Empowered Clothing. I'm dedicated to empower women entrepreneurs by sharing tools, tips, and resources through leadership, mindset, and more on my show, Finding Your Way with Sally. Yes, hi everyone. I'm Sally Estlin and I'm a content creator and founder of Empowered Clothing. I share authentic and everyday issues for women over 50. So you can learn more about my fashion products and services at empoweredclothing.com.au. So today's episode is about how to create a new you after a breakup. And we've got our featured guest today is Irina Shehovsov. And before I bring her up, I thought I'd just introduce her with a few short words from her bio. So Irina is founder of Reclaim Your Life and is a 4 times international best-selling author. She believes just like an electric plant generates electricity, you can generate happiness from within, which is a daily practice. Irina is a certified NLP trainer, a timeline therapy and hypnotherapy master coach, certified wellness and 10 times fitness coach. By taking a holistic 360-degree approach, she focuses on restoring her clients' physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual states of being. Happiness Academy is her mentorship program that helps women remember who they are after a toxic relationship. Irina supports single parents in becoming better versions of themselves by sharing powerful stories on her podcast, Single Parent Success Stories, and offers inspiration and empowerment on her second podcast, Reclaim Your Life with Irina. So without further ado, let's bring Irina up onto the screen here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's just coming up now. Hey, how are you? Welcome and thank you for coming on Finding Your Way with Sally.
Thank you, Sally, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, so you've got a very interesting bio there. You have done a lot of things. And do you want to talk a little bit about your journey and how you've ended up now working with women who have come out of relationships and out of marriages and things?
Sure. So I'm coming from a personal relationship, having gone through my own breakup, separation, and divorce, and being in that negative state of mind, living in victimhood, waiting for somebody to rescue me because I had that kind of, I don't know if they call it midlife crisis, but I also had an identity crisis. I no longer knew who I was. I was someone else's spouse, someone else's wife. Mom, but who am I? That's the question I was asking. And what happened one day, I was running after dropping kids off at 2 separate places and missing my train by a minute. And I started sobbing and crying and asking myself this question: do we just come here to suffer? Why are we rushing? I felt like I was rushing every day while not feeling alive, getting closer to my death, but feeling that I'm not really living. What kind of life is that? And that kind of was the breaking point. And it was a daily constant rush. That was what was happening. And I kind of got fed up with that.
Yeah.
And I decided that I wanted to change. I didn't know how or what, but however I was living wasn't working. And so I decided that I gotta change something about my life. And from that moment forward, I started doing personal development seminars and reading books and attending trainings, and discovered a lot of things about myself I didn't know I have. I'm a recovering introvert. I used to be an introvert, and then I went and studied Toastmasters that allowed me to open up my voice and speak. And I learned how to sing, which was amazing. It was so much better than sessions with psychologists, as I was able to sing what I couldn't speak. That was amazing.
Whoa, love that.
And I would recommend it highly to anybody. It doesn't matter, like you say, oh, I don't know how to sing, I don't have a voice. I think it does so much for your body, for who you are. You learn more about yourself, and doesn't matter how old you are, because I thought it was too late for me. I was 35. Like, what am I doing learning how to sing at 35?
Never too late.
Yeah. It's never too late. And embarking on also a physical health journey, starting to walk, starting taking care of my body, because there was nobody to take care of me. I gotta take care of myself. And through my journey, I discovered that you can generate happiness from within, because all I really wanted is to be happy again. But how do you discover that happiness? We always look for outside, for that external next job, next relationship, to get it from there. But meanwhile, you already have it right here inside. And when something happens on the outside, it's just a reflection of who you are on the inside. If something great occurs, it's like a cherry on top, because you already have everything going to you're creating the kind of habits that sustain you instead of drain you. So on my journey, I've attended NLP trainings. And what happened actually, what culminated, I was in Phoenix, Arizona in September of 2019, and I got inspired by Evan Carmichael, who was on stage, and he was speaking that there is not enough belief in this world today, and you should help somebody who is a step behind you. And this is when I decided to help women like myself, who I used to be. I used to be broken. I used to not believe in myself. I used to be very depressed, and I thought my life was over, that I spent or wasted the best years of my life, and now my life is just going to go downhill from there. That's where I was. So I wanted to help those women. And then in 2020, Reclaim Your Life was born with Happiness Academy as the program, kind of 12 steps to be happy again. And Single Parent Success Stories podcast was born again. I got inspired by watching series of YouTube interviews by my friend was doing. They said, what a great idea. She was interviewing entrepreneurs who were just sharing their journeys. I said, what if I interview single parents who've been there, done that, and can share the challenges, the great things, success stories. And that's how that started. And then I also went and attended the various trainings like neuro-linguistic programming, timeline therapy, hypnotherapy, kind of very dived in, because Reclaim Your Life is about living, dreaming, and growing. And the living component is exactly about our health, and not just our physical health, but also our emotional, physical, mental, holistic well-being. So for my mind, I went for NLP. And I think mindset is huge. It has so many kind of lines, dotted lines to all areas of your life, how you think and how you perceive the world and solutions or challenges that you face. And then for my physical health, I went and I did Mind Valley coaching, hollow body. It's more about wellness, like what you eat, that the fact that you have to move. And then I also added fitness component, which is about longevity and strength. So this kind of gives that holistic,
a whole holistic package, right? Yeah,
holistic
absolutely.
package.
Yeah, absolutely. We're singing from the same hymn book, sister. We totally are. It is an inside job, and I really love that you were saying helping people who are one step behind you. Because I'm a divorced mum with 4 kids, and having it's an emotional roller coaster on top of everything else that's going on, and you're very vulnerable, you're very raw, and it's a challenging time to navigate through that when you've got young kids, because usually the kids are quite young. It's all the pressures and whatever. But I really love how you discovered singing what you can't speak. For me, it's in nature. That's where I let everything out and where I express myself and where all my creativity comes through. And for you, for singing. And it doesn't matter if you haven't got a rock star voice. You can get in and sing in the shower and just love yourself sick. But sing what you can't speak. That's amazing. I know I was working with a client one time who had been on antidepressants and they couldn't feel. And as they weaned themselves off, they said they were in the shower and they said, I actually was humming a song. I haven't done that before. And just singing along. And it's everything is energy, right? We just all work with energy, and it's allowing that energy to come up and out that's sort of trapped within you, and it's expressing and letting out what you're hanging on to. Stored emotions, we want them to flow through us. Emotions are powerful and they're great, but let's not hang on to a lot of stuff. Let's just let it out. And I think what you're doing is so powerful, and I love that you've got the podcast Single Parent Success Stories, because it's the making of us. It's like with any situation, we can turn lemonade out of lemons. There's a silver lining out of everything that we experience, perceived positive or negative, but there's always positives to be taken out of it. And I just love it. What's the other thing about, living, dreaming, and growing? They're the sort of three key principles about Reclaim Your Life. And we've got very similar paths, because I'm a fitness head as well as a wellness person and a healer. And it saved me. It helped me heal. And I think for us to be able to help other people, we've literally been down that path and that journey. And so we know the extreme sensitivity, the vulnerability, how it gets you to your core, and I think it's so powerful to inspire and motivate other women and just say, it's okay, there's support here, because it can be a very lonely and isolated journey.
It is. Yes.
Yeah. So today you brought along your empowerment share, which is what we were kind of talking about, that you lost your identity after the breakup and suddenly becoming a single parent with 2 kids. And as we just discussed, you use personal development as a tool to redefine yourself and learn who you are. So you're still on this journey because we're all like sponges, aren't we? We never stop learning, but it's so empowering. Do you want to share a bit more about how you've become empowered yourself and how you found some confidence, some courage, some strength within you?
Yes, I think, Heiko, that Toastmasters started it all, and then singing expanded it further, and then having podcasts and ability to speak and share your story, it could be so powerful. At first, we think that we can only open our mouths if we went to college and we have this
Mm.
piece of paper that kind of proves to us that we have something to worthwhile to discuss. But what about our living experiences? Those things are still, it's your life, and
Yep.
it is the things that you have gone through, have lived through. I could never understand. So when I was going through my breakup and depression and all that stuff, we were seeing a psychotherapist, and I could never understand how somebody who is happily married, uh, has a nice family, could understand where I am coming from. And
Yep.
the way he was speaking, like, oh, you don't drive a Ferrari, you don't have a Gucci bags, like, what do you care about? Just split up and just live forever. Like, really?
Was this
And you
prior?
call yourself a therapist?
Right.
So I
Yes.
could never understand that. Like, if you haven't been where I've been, how can you understand where I'm coming from?
Yep.
And another thing, the ability then to share your story, the more you share, the more you learn about yourself as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so to that end, I also became an author. And actually, last week we launched our book number 5, and I'm now a 5 times best-selling author.
Wow,
Well,
congratulations. That's fantastic.
thank
Do you
you.
want to run us through the titles of your books? And are
Sure. So,
they a progressive lot or are they all independent books? Or do they lead
yes.
into each other?
The first, and I became an author as a result of the podcast. I didn't realize, but it's through
Oh,
meeting people who connected me to the publisher. Publisher was a single mom as well, and she invited me to be a part of her first book. For me, it was the first book. For her, it was already number 5 or 6.
yeah.
But it was a sacred surrender, and it was about coming home to yourself. And the first chapter, it was a multi-author book. The first chapter I contributed is Reclaim Your Life, basically. That was the title of the
Right.
first book. It's basically a journey home, because in the end of the day, we're walking each other home. And then that was April in 22. Then in July of 22, it was Revolutionary Leaders. And that was about leading through change, leadership changes, and also has the divine kind of soulful connotation. And again, we can tell our stories in 300 different ways,
Yeah.
each time highlighting a certain aspect of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then book number 3 was in December of 22, and that was directly as a result of the podcast, as I invited single parents to contribute to single soul parent book.
Right.
And,
Fabulous.
and we did it last year. They have it right here.
That's so empowering because people's real stories are in there. So that's called
Yes.
Soul Parent.
So
Soul.
this is Soul Parent. We did it in December of 22.
Wow.
And it's a collection of stories of single parents from all across the world, from all walks of life, to help share the story, not to promote single parenting, but if you found yourself in those shoes, what would you do?
Yeah.
That's exactly that.
I love
Then
it because it is, as we said before, it can be such a lonely, isolating journey. And when you read other people's stories, you realize you're not alone. Like other people have gone through it because, as I said before, it's touching real emotions and it's just it's a challenging time. That's so cool. So we've got Sacred Surrender, Revolutionary Leaders, Soul Parent. What's the next one?
next one was Total Health, and I did this book with other Mind Valley coaches,
Yeah.
where we were contributing. It's Total Health for Extraordinary Living. We each contributed a story about a tool about our health.
Yep.
And the one I contributed was called 10 Minutes of Joy. I
Ah,
believe we are holistic beings and our emotional health is so important. So I recommend people to practice 10 minutes of joy every day. Do something that sets your soul on fire. For me, it's singing.
yeah.
For you could be a yoga or rock climbing or whatever it is, but picking something that has a skill that you can master over time
Mhm.
And then you can explore a little bit about yourself, and you have something for you to look forward to on a day-to-day basis, like a little pick-me-up. Like we brush our teeth to maintain good oral hygiene. What if we flex our happiness muscle when we do something that sets your soul on fire?
I love
And
it. I
then,
love it. Because if you don't move it, you lose it, right? So muscles
yes,
on all your levels, not just a physical one, your mental, emotional, spiritual level, for sure. And so drum roll for the latest one that, did you say it was released last week?
yes, this is Soul Parent number 2,
Oh, so
volume 2. And again, collection of authors have contributed to this book, international bestseller. We had 3 number 1 categories in the United States. Uh, and women writers and spiritual upbringing, uplifting, and empowerment.
yeah.
And again, it's stories and tools. And here I'm sharing a tool that could save your life. And this is actually an experience that I practice and I do with clients. It's timeline therapy. So I'm describing it little bit about what it is,
Mhm.
why it can help you, and what's great about it. Because I have gone through that myself,
Yeah.
and I'm sharing with people. It's about removing negative limiting decisions, about removing negative beliefs that can
Mhm.
drain us. It's about looking at your past with a positive frame of mind, not erasing your past, but going there,
Mm.
grabbing a positive lesson. And with that, you can then take a different choice next time in your life. So
That's
that's what I'm sharing in the latest book.
that is so fantastic, because this is why we're having these shows, because it's time to inspire and motivate other people and empower women. That, it's just because we have these situations, it's finding the positives out of them. And as you said, we can't erase the past, but the way that we can perceive what's happened and learn from it, there's learnings out of everything. So it's just such a powerful book, with tools in there to help people get through. So this timeline therapy sounds fantastic. So where can we get the book? Is it on Amazon or
Yes, it's on Amazon. If you search by my name, it will pop up.
Mhm. Well, perfect, because when we'll put the links in the bottom of this when we post it up. So your expert tip that you brought along today is, like we mentioned a little bit about it earlier on. Just like an electric plant generates electricity, you can generate happiness from within. And this was like you were touching on this with your 10 minutes of joy, for example.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I believe we can all generate that because oftentimes we, like I said earlier, we seek happiness outside of ourselves.
mhm,
Meanwhile, we already have it inside. And we can practice that by being present, by being present to where you are, by practicing gratitude, by focusing your attention on things that are working in your life. No matter how dire the circumstances, the fact that we woke up in the morning, we can say gratefulness, practice gratitude in the morning, just 3 things you're grateful for. And at night, when you go to bed,
love that.
say 3 things that went well today to kind of refocus and shift your attention. And then practicing meditation, practicing forgiveness. When you implement kind of a series of those tools in your life,
Yeah.
you could find, and then when you practice 10 minutes of joy, you don't need anything external. You can find happiness from within by doing the things you love doing, because oftentimes we think we gotta be somewhere, we have to be somebody to be happy, but it's not. It could be so simple. It could be as simple as seeing a smile on a child's face, or
Yeah.
seeing a rainbow, or seeing something out of the ordinary. But the only way you're gonna notice that if you are present in your life, if you are really there and you not let your life pass you by, but you're an active participant.
Yeah, it's so, so true. It's all an inside job. And so the deeper you go within and have this connection within yourself. And I always like to talk about the three brains, the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. And it's connecting and aligning with all three of those, because as we know, our head can do us in, it's all that internal chatter and it's sabotaging ourselves. But then connect that in with the heart that's starting to feel. And then when you go down to the gut, into the where you're sensing. It's your internal GPS. So you can coordinating all three, but really tapping into that inside joy and love and passion. So yeah, absolutely. We're so on the same page. I love it. And you can, I mean, the title says it all, reclaim your life, because today's title is about how to create a new you after a breakup, which links in really nicely with my chakra range of clothing that I have. So this links into the sacral chakra. Do you work with chakras at all with your work?
No.
Yeah, okay, so they're energy bodies or centers within your being and in your etheric plane. Anyway, so the sacral chakra is about creating. So this is about your intention of what are you creating in your life, creating balance, fun, and abundance. And the chakra is associated with creativity. It's associated with your sexuality, your pleasure, and emotional balance. So the clothing range is about utilizing your own power more, your own energy more powerfully, because it's empowered clothing. So where your attention goes, your energy flows. So imagine each day you get up and get dressed and you think, well, what energy am I wanting to step into? So here's some little pics of the clothes. So orange is the sacral one, and on the race back there, it says I choose to create, and on the long sleeves it's creating balance, fun, and abundance, because we are our master creators. So what is it that you're choosing to create into your life? And as you're coming out of the single parenthood, from when you're finding your feet, you're creating a whole new life and doing it more empowered. And I have these beautiful little crystal candles. It's got beautiful Australian essences in it. And, you've got powerful affirmations with these tops. So when you're burning your candle and they've got little carnelian crystal chips in there, like really super powerful, because you're drawing that attention in, right? Because where your attention goes, your energy flows. So, yeah. And I've made all my clothing from very strong values on sustainability and ethical manufacturing. So we've made out of bamboo. Have you ever worn any bamboo clothing before?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I haven't paid attention.
Oh, look, it's because I didn't realize it until I got into the fashion industry. It's a wasteful industry, right? And so sustainability is so key. And I think that's why I was drawn into it, to say, hey, let's be mindful about what we're putting on ourselves, how many pieces of clothing we're wearing, and why we're wearing it. So this is, it's very soft and nice to wear, but also the manufacturing it is, I've got it from a very sustainable manufacturing source and endorsed by Ethical Clothing Australia, because even just making clothes, you really got to become a detective in your life, don't you, about where is everything coming from our emotions to our clothing to wherever. Just start to put the questions up there, and especially about your emotions as well. Why am I feeling this? That sort of thing. So yeah, interesting. So each of my little tops come with a little heart-shaped crystal, linking into each of the chakras. So this one links into the carnelian, is a carnelian crystal, and that one promotes physical health and emotional balance. It awakens and stimulates creative energy, enhancing passion and sexuality. It boosts your motivation, endurance, leadership, and courage. So, as you're finding your feet and finding your way through, there's so much, the grass can be greener on the other side. There's so much greatness. I mean, your life has been enhanced since you've come through the other side. Look at all the great things you're doing. It's amazing. And I also use, I don't know if you've ever used energy sprays, but these are really, really good. I have these sprays and have them all the time, all different types of sprays that just enhance and amplify positive energy around you. So there's so many things that you can do with energy, right? And I also have these little bracelets. And bracelets are great because there's something you can touchy feel. So this one's a garnet one. It's garnet. I've got all the different sorts with the chakras, but you can something touch and feeling, like with everybody's different, visual or touchy feely or whatever, and really drawing in the energy that you're choosing to do. So yeah, it just links in so well when we start to incorporate clothing as well with what we're doing with our energy. So you're doing the mindset work, you're doing the internal work, and that can flow onto the outside as well. So everything has to start on the inside, and then we take it from there. Hey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am learning more about energy,
Mm-hmm.
as we always evolve, but I feel I'm a beginner in that area at the moment.
Yeah. Well, come with me, babe. I'll take you on the most amazing magic carpet ride, right? So everything is energy. Just once you get your head around that, from everything you're looking at solid form, and when it's just not solid form, the wave form. But anyway, it's just, It's the new way forward. Everything that we're doing, empowering people to go inside, do the work, and then become more connected with yourself. It's like falling in love with yourself all over again, starting out a whole new relationship, and then discovering parts of you that you didn't realize were like little children that had been sort of traumatized. So it's healing yourself on the inside out. Hey, yeah, beautiful. So what's next in the pipeline then, Irina? Another book?
Next, yes, I am working on a solo book that's gonna come out in a few months this year, and it's gonna be about happiness, the gift inside, 12 steps on how to find your happy, where I'll be sharing my method of combining the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual tools that you can utilize. It's going to be a how-to book with practical exercises you can implement in your day-to-day living.
Yay, yay, yay. Well, keep us in touch with where you're at, and come back on the show and when you've launched the book. It's so awesome. I just totally love what you're doing. 110% support behind it. I wish when I was going through my situation, which was a long time ago now, I had support like this, had books that I could read, so it wasn't such a lonely journey, because it can be so challenging, as we know, but it can also be it is the making of you. It's the new you. You've got a clean slate where you can create whatever you're choosing into your life, because as I said before, you are the master creator. So before we say goodbye, are there any wise words that you'd like to impart with our audience today?
Believe in yourself no matter what anyone says. And if you have a dream inside of you, don't let anybody talk you out of it. Because the dream is always waiting for you on the other side. It's up to you to go chase it. It's up to you to go make it possible, because don't make the cemetery the richest place on earth. We have this tombstone with 2 dates in a dash in between them, and that dash is your life. What do you want to create with your life? Make that dash spark, make that dash feel alive, so in the end of life you don't have any regrets that you did do the things that you wanted. You didn't just be somebody else for somebody, or lived your life how other people expected you, but you never actually discovered who you are. Go out, discover who you are, and do the things that set your soul on fire. We are here to share our gifts. We are here to discover and connect and empower others who are on that journey. Like, we are walking each other home in the end of the day. So go out and follow your dreams.
I love that. Don't die with regrets. Absolutely. Follow your dreams. It's so beautiful. Well, Irina, thank you so much for coming on Finding Your Way. It's been an absolute joy and pleasure to chat with you and hear in your wisdom that you can share with all of us. So I really encourage everybody to reach out, go and grab a book, or reach out to Irina. We'll put the contact details down the bottom. And best of luck with your new adventures. And I'm just, chicks rule, hey? We all stick together. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll see you again soon. I'm just going to drop you down as we wind up the show. So you can join me for another episode of Finding Your Way with Sally Estlin next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time and Thursday at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So we are the master creators of our own destiny. So let's not die with regrets. Let's live the fullest life that we can and empower each other inside and out. So with that, guys, I'll see you next week on Finding Your Way with Sally. Bye. And you can learn more about my services and products at sallyestlin.com. Make sure to join me every week for a new episode on the SWE Media Network YouTube channel and wherever you listen to podcasts.